Evening, folks. Welcome to another Nerd Hurt. This is The Way, a Star Wars origin story, and I'm your host tonight, JR, your resident asshole. And in the room tonight, we got Brandon. How's it going, Mr. Comix Kings?
I am good, man. I'm super excited to talk about Star Wars. Star Wars is one of the best things in the pop culture world to talk about and to even enjoy. So I'm super thankful to be here with you tonight, bro.
Nice. Yeah, this is kind of my way of because everyone loves Star Wars, but we get this bad rap that we're all a bunch of assholes, and it's like, yeah, I'm an asshole, but not everyone's an asshole. So I kind of want to show the community that we love our stuff. Yeah, we have issues with stuff, but for the most part, we're good people.
Right.
So I'm gonna start off some rapid fire questions for you. Kind of get the midichlorians going a little bit. Blue or green milk?
Green.
Who shot first, Han or Greedo?
Han.
Good answer. Favorite droid?
I'm going R2-D2. I don't care. Anyone says R2-D2's OG. It's the homie.
Yeah. No, R2-D2 is a solid choice. I would also accept K2SO.
I don't know why I was about to say a battle droid, but
I would accept a battle droid too. I was thinking destroyer droids are fucking sick.
Exactly. I was gonna say spider droid would be cool too.
Yeah. Spider droid would be not too bad.
Good friend.
If you had to go visit a place, where'd you visit? Camino,
Ooh.
Naboo, or Jeddah?
I'm gonna go Naboo because they got a little bit of everything.
Makes sense. And then an X-Wing or a TIE Interceptor?
Neither. I'm going Y-Wing.
Okay, nice. I wasn't sure if you would know that one. So I didn't throw that out there.
Y-Wing is the most versatile starship that they have next to the Millennium Falcon, and that is the best ship in the universe, other than the Millennium Falcon.
I'm partial to Slave One personally, but I was always a Boba Fett guy.
Yeah, but Y-Wing can do everything.
Yeah,
Slave
no,
One
it can. No, you are right. But Y-Wing doesn't have Boba Fett flying it either.
Well, he could if he wanted to.
Yes.
Cad Bane
Yes, he could.
flew away for a little bit, so I want Boba Fett to do it too.
That is true. So, let's start with your origin here. So, when did you first get wind of Star Wars? Who exposed you to it? Kind of get in the meat and potatoes.
Oh, wow. So it was like way back during the early days of my childhood. Now, as you guys know, I'm a little bit younger. I'm 20 years old. I probably started getting into Star Wars when I was about 4. My uncle introduced it to me. My 6th grade no, not 6th grade, 6-year-old birthday party was a huge Star Wars theme. And that was like right around the release of Revenge of the Sith. So I was actually going up to see that in theaters. I grew up watching the original trilogy with my uncle, then got into the prequels in time for Revenge of the Sith. So I always thought Star Wars was like my gateway drug. So it was like my relationship with my uncle and I that we've held for many years. And then when I was in 2nd grade, the Clone Wars came about, which, as a huge fan of the Jedi, seeing them all together in the Clone Wars was phenomenal, and then the animated show came out during like my years of connecting with that, so it just furthered that. And then the season 7 ended at the end of my childhood. So my childhood began with the Clone Wars, and it ended when I like became an actual adult, or legally an adult. I don't know if I act like one, but legally an adult.
I'm 40 something years old, and I don't know if I'd consider myself an adult either yet. So
yeah, legally under the law, I guess it started and ended with my childhood. So to me, I'm like at peace with that. I guess I'm like a Force ghost because of that now. Do with it what you will.
Makes sense. So if you had to choose, obviously you got Sith and you got Jedi, but I'm also throwing Smuggler and Merc. Which one would you choose?
There's a lot to go with. You love a good mercenary in Star Wars. You really do. I think like they really do have a lot of room to shine. Of course, I do think if I were a Jedi, I've always pictured myself doing things like a Quinlan Vos, who kind of did everything in the Star Wars universe. If you guys have read the comics or kept up with that expanded side of the universe. So I'm going to say Jedi just because I love Quinlan Vos.
Okay. So before you jumping out, who would be your master or mentor? Does not have to be a Star Wars character. It could be anyone from the real universe, like real world.
Like real world. That's a good question. I would have to like. I don't know. That's good. You just learn from so many people. I'd have to go with one of my karate instructors because that's like the first person that comes to mind.
I can understand that. I mean, I've seen a couple answers. A couple people actually said Bruce Lee. So I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What color would your blade be?
Green.
Ah, good old Yoda and Luke, huh?
I mean, yeah. I mean, green to me, I think brings out. So I'm always keeping my looks in mind, so I think green would really bring out my eyes a little more. No, I think green would just go good with like my complexion and my skin tone. That's like really what I look for in a lightsaber and how it pairs. Not necessarily.
Okay, Miss Kardashian.
That's Mr. Kardashian. That's Mr. Potato Head.
Sorry. Let's see what else we got here. So we already got your weapon of choice and stuff. What's your like? You know, sometimes you'll flip through the channels and you'll see Star Wars is on, and you'll be like, you're like, oh, this scene's coming up. I gotta sit and watch that. Is there a scene that's like, you know, if you see it coming up, you're like, I'm gonna sit and watch it. And you're gonna be. It could be like half an hour away, and you're telling your girlfriend, yeah, it's in 5 minutes.
Well, if she were around, if I had one, DMs are open, but no, you can cut that out. I would have to say Duel of Fates is one of my favorite scenes, even though it's not one of my favorite movies. Duel of Fates with that soundtrack, and Darth Maul is just that you can't get enough of that scene. I'm telling you, that scene's just so good.
Yeah.
Or the Jedi battle. It's either one of those two.
Yeah, I think the rumors is we're gonna get Darth Maul and Kenobi.
Right.
In his show.
Right. Maybe more Duel of Fates.
I mean, get a live action version with those two. Like that would be pretty fucking awesome.
Dude, I would like live for that. That would be just as good as seeing Katie Sackhoff coming back to play Bo-Katan.
Yeah. That was a pretty damn good scene.
That was literally every guy's like dream come true.
Pretty much, yeah. So speaking of Mandalorian, obviously you've watched it. Everyone's watches it, loves it. Who's your favorite character on there so far?
I want to say Boba Fett on there because you know part of what the original trilogy failed at doing was giving Boba Fett his spotlight. And he said 3 words, and one of them was awe. And this is a fan favorite character from many people across the universe. So the fact that he's like back, not necessarily like back in his prime, but he's doing stuff that we have not seen before on live TV.
Yeah.
You know, or not even, or even in an animated thing. You know, we've seen it in books. We've even read about it in books. We can visualize it to see like. This is a guy who's like freaking Peyton Manning, out of his prime, but still playing at the top of his potential. Imagine what he would do in his prime. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, imagine this dude's like Tom Brady winning 6 Super Bowls. That would be so sick if we had that time. But unfortunately we don't. Now we don't.
No, but we are gonna get Book of Fett.
Right.
So I mean we're gonna get some good stuff in there. It'll be interesting to see what angle they take on it.
I want a younger actor who can pull it off because I want that younger dynamic and those younger suited fight scenes that we're gonna get.
Okay, so you kind of want
I want prime Boba
Fett talking about like, oh, this happened in the past, and not necessarily Fett the crime boss.
I want it to take place. I want it to take place while kind of he's grown up. So after Clone Wars, you know, after Aura Singh and Dengar mentored him and everything, when he's like going out on his own, like when he's first becoming Boba Fett, how he's gonna get his name out, how he's gonna become this person, right? And get his, because obviously like that name is gonna ring true across Star Wars, across like that whole bounty hunter lore.
Oh yeah.
Because of his father, right? But I want to see how did Boba step into his own legacy. That's what I really want to see from a film.
So since you're name dropping some obviously cool characters that a lot of people don't know, like Aura Singh and Bosk, out of the mercenaries, who's your favorite? Who's like like one of those guys that you're just like they'll never do anything with them, and you'd be like, if they brought him on to Book of Fett, you'd be like, oh fuck.
I honestly, I'm gonna say Hondo Onaka, and I know what you guys are saying, and I don't care what I know what you're thinking right now, and I don't care. Let me explain. Hondo Onaka has ties to everyone.
Yeah, he does.
He has ties to Aura. He has ties to Jedi. Shit, dude had Grievous and Dooku on his like tail. You know,
yeah.
He knows so much, and he is so well respected in that field to where you don't fuck with Hondo without his whole crew of pirates, which is almost as scary because they may be stupid, but they know how to aim. But
that is true.
You know, so and he has money. I don't like it. What his homestead has got ransacked how many times, and he's bounced back strong. He's wise. He's seen it all. And to me, that earns my respect. And whenever he's there, I'm like, you know what? Some shit's going down, and I want to be on Hondo's side when it happens.
And you got to figure he's been around in the game for like 60, 70 years.
Right.
Because I mean, if he's showing up in Clone Wars
and Rebels
and that stuff, and then Rebels, and then he's also in Batuu in Disneyland. He's there, so I mean, he's been that's a good chunk of space.
Right, so I'm going with Hondo. I know what y'all thinking, and I don't care. He may not look dangerous, but since when have in Star Wars we know you don't judge a character by how they look. Look at Yoda. I'm telling you, Hondo Onaka, sold.
Okay, so have you been to Batuu yet?
Have I been to Batuu? No, I have not, but I want to.
Okay, just curious. Between the Marvel, because they got the Avengers campus just opened up. If you went, where would you go first, campus or Batuu?
Well, I'm gonna say Batuu right now because I think that there's more like thread to it. I think Avengers campus is they can still be going through some troubleshooting. They can still be going through like all those hype lines, and you know, I think Batuu right now they've really figured it out, have a system. And you never know, like working in that kind of field, working in that area is almost like running a full play every day. So I'd rather be there first at a play that's more rehearsed and more professional looking than Avengers. Like, okay,
makes sense. So, do you have any toys, anything that like childhood stuff that you just love from Star Wars, or any memories type stuff?
Dude, I remember the first time I saw, like, I went to Disneyland or Disney World, the one in Orlando, whatever the fuck one it is, and just holding a lightsaber for the first time and going up against Vader. It's just like, it's a childhood memory that like I'll never forget. Just watching Vader come out. He's my favorite character. I know I've been name dropping a lot of stuff that have been prequels and Clone Wars because it's like what I know more. But I'm a bigger fan of Vader of anything else. Vader's you cannot do better than Vader and Han Solo, my two favorite characters. So just like being in that atmosphere as a kid, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys who have kids out there, their teachers always have them write down what they want to be when they grow up. Until I was in 5th grade, I wrote a Jedi. So I wrote it was either Jedi or football player, and I figured since Yoda's short, I was short, I have more chances of being a Jedi. So
it makes sense.
So that's just, and then just going to see the movies, man, and just watching the Clone Wars every Friday night. It's meeting people, you know, to be my friend in elementary school, you had to meet a certain checklist, and the number one thing on it was you had to be a Star Wars fan. The other thing was you had to watch football. Most times kids my age didn't watch either, so I didn't have many friends, but that was my checklist. Hey, so when I did meet someone, it was a special moment, you know. Star Wars is a universe that brings together like any other, and I will put that against Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, anything. Oh, yeah. Star Wars will bring you together the most than anything else.
One of the great things about Star Wars, I mean, because I grew up with the original trilogy. I was a little bit older, or a little bit younger than the original trilogy when it came out. But like, we loved Star Wars, and we didn't like when the Clone Wars and all that came out. We didn't think that was ever going to happen, because you got to understand, like in the late '80s, early '90s, when I was a high school kid and stuff, we're like, that's never going to happen. We've heard rumors like, oh, George Lucas has got 9 movies planned. He's going to do all this. And it was a huge thing when Clone Wars came out, or when the first Force Awakens, not Force, Phantom Menace
Phantom
came
Menace.
out. Yeah, when that came out, we're just like, I mean, we didn't have Fandango at the time, so I ended up like waiting out. So I had to line up at my movie theater 7 days before when the tickets went on sale, and then buy the tickets and then come back 7 days later to see the movie.
Dude, that's crazy. It's like what we do nowadays is wait in an online line.
Yep.
But this just proves my point that what I've been saying every time I talk about Star Wars, every time I'm on a Star Wars podcast, because there are many of them out there.
Yeah.
I always say Star Wars is generational in the sense that every generation you talk to has their own childhood Star Wars.
Yep.
That brings us together even more, right? And it's like Star Wars is such a personal fandom. I think it's very safe to say it's so impactful, and it's really cool that every even when you have kids, at least if you have a kid right now, right, and you grew up on the prequels or the original trilogies, their Star Wars is Force Awakens. While it may not be our favorite, at least it's something for them to look up at that title with those characters. And have that same feeling that we have had these years. So it's just so cool to see.
And my look at it is like when I heard the news that Disney bought Star Wars, I was at the point with George Lucas. I was like, well, they can't do any worse than what George Lucas did with the prequels. I mean, and I understand some people love the prequels, and I've appreciated them more because of Clone Wars and other things. But I looked at it as let Disney have a chance with it. George is burnt out. Yes, Disney hasn't done a lot of great stuff with it, and now I kind of look at it and go, maybe George should have done the next 3. But at least I know in 40, 50 years, there's going to be Star Wars.
Right.
Because I know Disney's going to keep doing it.
Right. And there's so many things to tell. We're looking at Ahsoka being brought to the big screens. For me, that's huge because I remember seeing her as a kid. I remember a lot of my friends that were girls at the time looked at Ahsoka as a role model, and to see her being on the big screens, played by none other than the indie queen. What's her name? Who's playing Ahsoka?
I know it, but I don't want to say her name because I can't stand her.
Just
it's Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson, who's I don't care what you say, JR, but she's phenomenal.
She let me phrase this. I think she's a phenomenal actress. She actually could do really good. I personally didn't think she was great as Ahsoka. I thought she was a little flat. I think she could have done a lot better. But as a human being, I prefer her just not to say anything. That's just my personal opinion.
That's fair. We all have that about certain people, but her work in the pop culture, fandom,
I loved her.
Phenomenal,
I loved her in Clerks too.
Daredevil.
I thought she was amazing. Daredevil, she was good. I loved her in Kids. I mean, she's done a lot of great roles. I think she's a good actress.
Right. And it's just really cool to see some of these characters from the Clone Wars. Like we were just talking about Katie Sackhoff. We could see Ezra coming to the big screens.
I think he's coming.
It's only a matter of time before we see Sabine. Which, Jesus Christ, we see Sabine. I want a good actress, JR. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, one thing that Disney is really good at is finding new talent.
Right.
Because they don't necessarily need to go and get Robert Downey Jr. and big names like that to do roles. I mean, no one really knew who, what's his name? The guy who plays Loki.
Tom Hiddleston.
No one really knew who he was before he did that role. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did some stuff. Obviously, people are going to yell at me. Oh, he did this and this and this.
But he never was like A-list talent, like front lines.
Yeah. I mean, now you would consider him an A-list talent.
Right.
I mean, Chris Helms was another one. I mean, so I just think they could. I'm hoping, like with Thrawn, they pick a really good character, really good actor to play
Oh
him.
my gosh, that I think with Thrawn, I think that's where you needed like what they're doing with Namor, more of like a. I think you can go. I think that would be a good fit for a Middle Eastern actor, so like for more diversity, or somewhere
Yeah.
out there, just to match Thrawn's kind of. Because I think that'd be
Arrogance.
fitting. Yeah, I don't want to say arrogance. I'm not trying to stereotype people, but I think that is a good role to where it doesn't necessarily matter or what, like how much you deviate the character, because his traits are so overpowering as Thrawn, to where it wouldn't be so of a race over everything else.
Yeah, I still kind of want Pierce Brosnan to play him.
Yeah, I could see it.
I could see him playing it, but we'll see. I mean, it's only time will tell.
I could see the actor of Red Skull playing him.
Yeah. I can also see the guy that was in Glorious Bastards. That was the Jew hunter.
Say that in front of a Jew.
Well, that was the that was the character's name. Though.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, bro.
But I forget it's Christopher Waltz, I think.
I don't know. I'm not good with actors' names. That's why I'm like, I know enough comic book writers and artists as they are, and character names. Actors, I don't know. Fuck it.
But basically, he has that mentality that I think he could pull off, and I think it'd be really well done.
Right, 100%.
But I see it looks like you got a lightsaber back there.
Oh yeah, my uncle went to Galaxy's Edge and bought me this as a high school graduation present. The battery's dead, so it's not lighting up to buy one off eBay. But or when I go there, I'll get another one.
I think you could. I thought, because I have one too.
Yeah,
I think
but
you could pull the battery out.
The screws split.
Ah, okay.
And
yeah,
I just got to replace it.
There's some problem. Like I've got mine mounted on the wall over here. If you leave the battery pack in there, it drains the battery even though it's turned off. It's some weird thing.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until it died, and then I did some more research into it. And then if we're gonna talk about merchandise, I have a Lego Razor Crest that I don't want to bring out because
that's fragile.
I'm what you call clumsy, but I do have it, and it was built right before the Razor Crest exploded. So fuck you, Disney.
Hey, they got your money.
Yeah, they did get my money, and I do have this cover.
That's cool.
This is my favorite Star Wars book in my collection, and first name drop of the Mandalorian. You know.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that this is now a big book? Obviously, it needs like a clean and press, but you can actually kind of see so there's like a line down the middle, which if you guys don't know, a lot of times during that time, like when these were released, sometimes like people who had subscriptions, this was like rolled up and put in their mailbox. This has a crease element that you can't see because the Mylar, but it has a fold that it looks like it's been pressed out many times because you can barely see it.
Right.
So that's like a cool little piece of history as well. I'm not looking for this to be slammed or graded or anything, but
yeah, I still don't have one of those. It's one of the few ones I need to get.
Are you willing to trade for a Daredevil #1? Because I will send it your way, my friend.
I'm not letting go of my Daredevil #1.
I'll send you Rosario Dawson's address too, which I don't have.
If it was Jennifer Lawrence, we'd have a different story.
No boy. Anyway.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap this up with a nice little fun game. So you know what Fuck, Marry, Kill is. We all do. We've all played it. My thing is, if I did that and I put Leia in there, or if I put Ahsoka, any of the females in it, you're gonna pick them. I mean, it's unless I put them together, you're gonna pick them. So being the fact that I'm a Sith, and I'm an asshole, I've switched it up to be Rancor, Sarlacc Pit, and Carbonization. Rancor Pit means you just want them to die quickly. Just get rid of them. Sarlacc Pit is let them take 200 years to gestate and die. Carbonization, they're a nice little trophy on your wall. So
now would this be like after I defeated them in battle, or would it just be like for a prize? Because some people I would love to defeat and hang on my wall.
If you want to put it that way, you can put it that way. I mean, you got to figure you're not gonna get them to walk into a carbonization chamber freely, so you got to figure some way to get in there.
I do have my magic. I am Comix Kings, by the way.
That is true.
Oh boy.
So we'll start with a good hard one for you. Count Dooku, Darth Maul, and Oz Ventress.
Dooku, I just want to kill immediately, so he going to the Rancor. Asajj Ventress, we're gonna Sarlacc pit, and I'm hanging Darth Maul on my wall, motherfucker.
I had a feeling that would be the case. Even though Ventress kind of looks like a hood ornament with that bald head of hers.
Yeah, but see, here's the part. I don't want her ugly little female mustache. I don't know what it is, but I'm thinking if I were to freeze her, she would have the scariest pose.
Yes. Because she'd be like this. She'd be coming out like this at you going.
Yeah, and I feel bad enough for her to where I wouldn't kill her immediately. I would like to give her a fighting chance to get out of the Sarlacc pit. With that whole origin story we saw in the Clone Wars. So she's going to the Sarlacc pit. Fuck Dooku. Just fuck him. And Maul would, no matter what pose you put Darth Maul in, he's gonna look badass as a poster. So he's going over there.
So next round. Commander Cody.
Okay.
Rex or Ahsoka.
God damn it, these are all my favorite characters. I'm gonna put Ahsoka on the wall just so I can look at her. I don't care what y'all say, she's very beautiful. Ahsoka's going on the wall. Can we kill Cody? I'm gonna kill Cody for what he did to Kenobi, and he's going in the Rancor, and then Rex, I'll give a fighting chance with the Sarlacc pit. And we're gonna do it that way.
Okay, one last one. This one is the whole race. So we've got the Gungans, the Ewoks, and the Porgs.
Can I would love to see 1,000,000 Gungans in a Sarlacc pit.
That's probably where I put them too.
This part is just gonna say pure fuck you guys. I let y'all die easily. Mostly because you guys would just kill yourselves anyway, so I'll put the Gungans there because they'll just say, oh, Misa this, Misa that. Misa, go fuck yourself in the Sarlacc pit. And then I'm going to go with, I got the Porgs and the Ewoks. I don't know, I thought the Porgs got a little annoying at the end of it, so I'm going to kill off the Porgs. And fuck, the Ewoks, man, them's intelligent. They're intelligent, so eventually they'll unfreeze and I could, keep them as my own. I can kind of go.
I don't know if you want them around you. They're vicious little fuckers.
Not if your name is Leia, and to be, you know who I am. I'm the Comix Kings. I can have my Leia with me to control them. My mind is working, JR.
I mean, you do know they're like cannibals, right?
Yeah, give me my cannibals.
Because what do you think they were eating at the end of Return of the Jedi?
I know. They could. Fuck. You kill the stormtrooper, you eat the stormtrooper. As long as it's not in my house, they can eat the stormtrooper wherever they want. They can barbecue in the backyard as long as it's not in my house. I don't care. They will be mine. And better yet, they will be my army if they can eat up a stormtrooper.
Well, there you go. So, thank you for being on. This has been a blast. It's always fun to get to know people in the community. It's a little out of my realm I'm not the social one of the group. So
no kidding. What was your first clue?
yeah, I know. But I'm glad to have you part of the community. You brighten the day up.
Yes,
so where can we find you? I mean, I know you're all over the place. You are the Comix King.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, YouTube is Comix Kings. I'm searching the description below. And other than that, you can just see me doing creator interviews, see me doing weekly wrap up. Which is every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame, which is a Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time show. I'm sure you guys have seen them around. If not, just check it out. See for yourself what the show's all about. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. But yeah, those are just the pillar shows that I have going on and it's just been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to keep bringing more content to the community because it's been a blast. It's a hustle, but it is a blast.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a hustle. It's one of those things. How many subs are you guys at now?
230, which is pretty good for about 3-4 months of YouTube. So
yeah, no, we'll get your numbers up. You know how it is. We take care of each other.
Exactly, man. I mean, I'm not doing this for the subs, obviously, like, I'm no stranger to what I'm doing, right. And I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but like what I'm doing is higher than the sub count really is reflecting. Right. The views are higher than what the sub count is reflecting, which is and the interactions again are more meaningful than having 1,200 million subs and I don't know anyone. So,
I agree with you.
So, and I know you guys did a huge milestone at 1K, so holy shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, it finally got to it, but it's a long haul, and it's hard because we try to do the same thing you do, where it's more about what we put out. We want to put out something that we care about, something that means something.
Right, and I feel like if you're able to walk away from a show and say, I did a good job, you're going to get the views.
Yep, exactly. So, our usual slogan, if you want to do it right, collect what you like.
Collect what you like.
But this is Star Wars. We've got to throw a Yoda twist on this. So we're going to do collect what you like if you want to do it right. Have a good night, folks.
DJ Abomination.